All right. What do you call yourself?
I call myself an asshole, but most people know me as IBTAT on the trail.
All right, cool. And where were you living before you were on the Pacific Crest Trail?
North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina, hippie town, USA, man.
All right, cool. And what are you passionate about, Habitat?
Not working for a living and just living like a dirtbag on the trail.
Okay. And what do you think about the PCT? Or maybe you can share a story about the Pacific Crest Trail. Just one story about something.
Don't do it on a big snow year, man, because I'm over the snow for sure. But the views are unbelievably gorgeous. It's unreal.
Okay. And how'd you end up here? Did you have you done a lot of hiking in the past, or how'd you end up on the PCT?
Well, I section hiked the AT 2 years ago, did a through hike of the AT last year, and then I didn't want to go back to work, so I decided to come on and do the PCT this year.
All right, cool. What do you call yourself?
My name's Lance.
Okay, cool. And Lance, where do you live?
I live just down Highway 88 in a little town near Pine Grove.
Okay. And what are you passionate about, Lance?
Outdoors, hiking, just being outside, and teaching. I'm a school teacher.
You are? What,
Yeah.
what do you teach?
I teach middle school.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what is your connection to the Pacific Crest Trail?
I've hiked sections of it,
Okay.
and I grew up hiking this area as a kid.
Okay,
So,
cool.
yeah.
And do you have any stories? Like now you're a volunteer
Yes,
here,
yeah.
and a bunch of PCT hikers come through.
Right.
Do you have any stories about them or any?
One of my favorite stories was a couple of weeks ago. A young lady from Arizona came through, and she just covered 400 miles of snow. And she said, "I hope I never see snow again." So that was one of my favorite stories.
Okay.
That
cool.
and the gentleman who just left, who's been hiking 100 miles in Crocs.
Oh yeah, I saw Croc footprints actually,
Yeah, he's
and
been
I wanted to meet
over
him.
100 miles.
Does he just likes them or his shoes?
No,
are bad or
his
something?
something happened with his shoes, and he had to go to Crocs, and he's gonna get a new pair of shoes in Tahoe.
Okay.
So,
Yep.
All right. What do you call yourself?
Otis.
All right.
Otis Hikes.
Otis Hikes. And where were you living before you were on the Pacific Crest Trail?
Chino, California.
And what are you passionate about, Otis?
Hiking, outdoors, adventure.
What do you think of the Pacific Crest Trail? Maybe you could share a story from your adventure.
I love it. I love every part of it. I love meeting people and meeting all the crazy people from around the world, and just met so many different interesting people. I love meeting all the people on the trail, and I love hiking the trail, and I love every part of the trail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there any story, anything crazy happen, or any adventures in the Sierras, or maybe in town,
Nothing
anything
real
crazy?
I mean,
Really nice happen, or
trail angels have been cool. We've met a few of those.
Yeah.
People hooking us up with rides and just meeting, I don't know, getting rides right away, and all the cool people hooking us up everywhere.
okay.
I don't know. I haven't had really any crazy experiences yet.
Okay. And then what about how'd you end up here? Like, have you done a lot of backpacking in the past?
Yeah,
or-
I've been
And then
section hiking the PCT for 5-6 years, and just always wanted to do it. Several of my friends have done it, and I just said I'm gonna do it one year. And I'm 46 years old, and I said, you know what? I'm not waiting until I'm retired to do this. Who knows what'll happen? Life's too short.
right.
And I just gave my notice at work and said, I'm doing it. My wife said, as long as you can pay the house payment for 6 months, you can go.
Wow.
And she didn't think I'd come up with it, I guess. So I came up with the house payment, and here I am.
And how long of when you were like, I'm gonna do it, and then saving up, was that a long time period?
It
No?
wasn't much I own my own business, and
Okay.
I have money, so.
Cool. All right.
Not too bad.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What do you call yourself?
My trail name is Sound Effects because I have had chronic hiccups for 12 years. And I also sneeze a lot and trip a lot. And when I trip, I go like, ah! Make sound effects.
Okay. Where were you living before you were on the Pacific Crest Trail?
I lived in Chapel Hill and worked at my alma mater.
Okay. And what are you passionate about?
I am passionate about the environment and learning new things, and advocating for the things that I care about.
What are your thoughts on the Pacific Crest Trail?
The PCT has been by far the most gorgeous trail I've ever been on. It's given me some really challenging moments, both mentally and physically, but I can't imagine not being out here.
And could you share like maybe a story from your Pacific Crest Trail experience?
A story.
Yeah, it could be about anything. I mean, something cool that's happened, something bad that's happened, something scary, maybe like a scary moment.
Yeah, I'll tell you about falling on Pincho Pass
Okay.
in the Sierras. I was scared to go into the Sierras, and I went in, and the first pass went okay, and then I got to Pincho. That was supposed to be easy, and I almost got to the top and didn't have my microspikes on and slid down the snow, and it scared me, scarred me a little bit, but looking back, really interesting experience.
And wait, so what happened when you slid down and then you just like got back up, or?
I actually had some strangers help me get my microspikes on, and then a guy dragged me over this dangerous part of the snow to a place where I could stand up, and I was able to get some help to the top. So
Okay.
pretty scary.
And then what brought you here? Like have you done a lot of hiking in the past, or what drew you to the PCT?
I grew up in North Carolina, so spent a lot of time doing small sections of the AT, and I always figured I would do that one day. But once I heard about the PCT, and it was on the West Coast where I had never been, and it had really cool landscapes, it's got deserts, it's got mountains, it's got all this stuff, I was like, well, I've already seen the cool stuff on the AT, so I don't want to do that. I want to go do the PCT. So that was a few years ago, and over time it just became something that I thought about, couldn't stop thinking about, and decided that I should go for it. So here I am.